Fortunately, the law is here, because imagine if they weren't, it'd be worse.
One of the guests wants concrete proof
Of what?
of payments made, and she doesn't want to get caught in the crossfire between us and doesn't want to be evicted. So is there anything that we can do for her?
We don't have anything that we could give the person other than to say we're just working out everything as it relates to the...
Yeah, we've told her that several times, and she says she needs more concrete proof, or she's going to contact Airbnb.
Then that's completely fine.
That is completely fine?
Yeah, well, what she said is completely fine. What you do is you contact Airbnb first so that they don't do something adverse without talking to us.
Okay.
And help them to just understand that it's all around AB 3088. That's the California Assembly bill. And that way they can go, yep, we already know. And more importantly, we can tell her we already told them, so that therefore there's no more perceived threat of leverage.
Got it. Okay. We'll look after that today. Okay. Portico. We have been trying to work out all kinds of things and have not been successful. We are now waiting for lock boxes to arrive, and we're going to set them up for Rob and us in 770 and give the guests directions. Okay, so there have been no bookings at Portico while we've been down because we haven't been able to greet people or get them in.
Totally understood.
Oh, that was much easier than I thought.
Just tell me you did not block the calendar. That's the only thing I care about.
We did block the calendar.
Okay, that's what we can never do.
Unblock the calendar?
There was no, we can't. Yeah, no.
We had to. I had no way of getting them in.
We have to find a way.
Well, I've been waiting for the lock boxes to arrive.
And we have to find a faster way.
Well, today I asked V&A if she's available to meet guests, and she said yes, but can she hang around for however many hours if someone comes in at 11 o'clock at night?
Ultimately, with all the new laws, specifically in California, no one knows what they mean, because you don't know what anything means until a judge tells you what it means. And what they said, you know what, we're just going to do it the normal way. And for fun, I read stuff like that, the ordinances and laws sometimes. And I'm like, no, you can't do this. I mean, and that's where it started, because you have a person who isn't licensed telling them that you can't do this. You have to follow this. And they don't typically like their authority to be challenged, I guess is the best way of saying it. But ultimately, the law was written to protect businesses and residents from this. Okay. That's why it's there. So, fortunately, the law is here, because imagine if they weren't, it'd be worse.
Yeah.
And that's and the part that I know, and this is the part that really gets under my skin, is how many people I know fold their hand and just leave or do whatever at their own expense, incur the additional cost, end up with no place to stay or moving it with somebody. You know what I'm saying? And it really gets on my nerves. And I know that that's happening.
Terrible.
And because that's their default playbook, assuming that we don't know. So yeah.
Well,
it'll all be over.
Thank you. And just one more question. There's always one more question. This wet signature thing, Carly had sent it over to Richard, and
there's nothing we're gonna do with that.
We're nothing.
Yeah, here's the okay. So you want to talk about what's really messed up? The previous owner of Portico sold the building to the new guy. Now, if you ask me, the previous owner, from what I can tell, basically committed fraud because he did not disclose to the new guy about the 4 or 5 operators that were there. And worse, told the new guy that we paid no rent, which is also not true. And somehow in their paperwork shuffle, they decided that everyone was a natural person as the residents and not our companies. And then they decided that they no longer want short-term rentals there. And that's just not how it goes in the middle of a lease or how it goes in the middle of a state of emergency. Again, I read rules. So, and ultimately what it comes down to is that the new owner's in a really bad spot because he has none of the documentation. He doesn't know what we were promised. He doesn't even know what our rent, the proper right amount of the rent is. And it's not good for him. And that's why they went back and read the lease and found they had to find something. Understand, they were grasping at straws, and what they're doing is making it worse for themselves by causing the businesses harm. Taking the lockbox causes us harm. I didn't care because we have a way to work with it now. And so, but it's a matter of expenses and money. He made us an offer that isn't any good. And it's the problem. He's like, look, you leave, you won't owe us any of the back rent and stuff. I was like, well, the law already takes care of the back rent. It's the moving expenses that are the problem. And so if you help us with the moving expenses, we'll leave. He doesn't want to do that. So it's like, okay, well, no problem. We'll just keep obeying the law. How about that? They're waiting for us to make a mistake so that they can find another angle to get rid of us.
Okay.
Without somehow they're trying to get around the law. That's really the issue.
Okay. I appreciate you taking the time to tell me all that.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, it's happening everywhere.